What's up, YouTube? It's Zach. It's been kind of a while since I've put up a video, hasn't it? Um, so, what I am kind of here, I'll move that down a little bit. There we go. What I am kind of here to talk about today is kind of what Alec hinted at a little bit today. We were actually talking about this for a little bit tonight. I wanted to talk about our kind of two rank 4 toolbox decks, I suppose that you could call them for the format, are I think a lot of people think of them as kind of a dichotomy, but they're really not. People think of them as doing two really different things, but the goal of the decks are essentially the same. I want to talk a little bit about Evilswarms and about Constellars. I think they're both extremely good in the format. I don't think people give them enough credit for what they do, and I think if people realized the strengths that they have right now, they would see a lot more play. First of all, I want to take this moment to shoot down all of you stupid people who are saying that these decks aren't topping because they're not good. You are so incredibly wrong. Just wipe that slate completely and listen to me for a moment. The reason these decks aren't played or aren't topping very much right now is that people aren't giving them the chance. Like one Evil Swarm deck topped 32'd in Toronto, and like Alec and I were talking about this, and Vinny and I were talking about this because Vinny has also been playing Evil Swarms pretty hardcore. Alec's been playing Constellars pretty hardcore, and I've kind of been doing both. And we've been talking about this, and we were saying, or what we were thinking is that the reason that neither of these decks are being really, or like seeing much in terms of the grand competitive scheme of things, is that people aren't giving them the opportunity, and just people aren't playing them. For some god unknown reason to me, people aren't playing. So what I really just wanted to do, the whole point of this video, is to take a moment and just kind of walk through both the decks and kind of talk about how they're similar, how they're a little different, and talk about how they're valuable in the format right now. So I figured the best place to start would be with Constellars. Constellars have this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card called Constellar Pollux. He is the one that you normal summon, and his effect is that you get to normal summon another Constellar monster this turn. It's an additional normal summon. Yeah, so Valor doesn't stop that. Fiendish Chain doesn't stop that because they're not actually effects that activate, they're just kind of are. So if you didn't negate the summon, you can still do it. I can't tell you how many times people have Valored Pollux and I've been like, okay, summon again. Or Valored Caster, I've been like, okay, summon again. It works the same way. But he's basically your play setter upper to make room for this guy, Constellar Kaus. He is the one who allows you to increase or decrease the level of a Constellar monster up to twice per turn. So he's the one who gives you your massive access to everything from rank 3 to rank 5, and rank 6, really, and inadvertently rank 7, but the deck kind of runs basically around toolboxing out your rank 3s, rank 4s, rank 5s, mainly your rank 4s and rank 5s, and then pushing into your rank 6s and 7s to control the game state. And part of the way they control that game state is through these two cards right here, Vanity's Emptiness and Safe Zone. Safe Zone allows you to basically either put down, say, what's his name? Sombre. Put down Sombre and hold that there, or put down a Pleiades and hold him on the field. Put down Omega and hold him on the field. Put down anything really, and you just control the game state. And while you're doing that, you have Vanity's Emptiness, who basically allows you to set up all of your plays and then flip this at the start of your opponent's turn, and you shut down everything that they try to do. And so having that massive field control element is phenomenal. And so in that deck, you'll end up making stuff. I just pulled out a bunch of, like, Starleaf Paladynamo, who is a boss at getting rid of giant monsters like Dracosac. You have, obviously Pleiades, Compulse on legs. Not much to say about him, besides, Compulse on legs during either turn. Volca single-handedly wins games. You got Tyrus, who doesn't care about destruction ever. And one card that I honestly think is going to should see a lot more play, Wind Up Zenmayo, because Trap Stun is an incredibly good card right now. It is a massively good card. So being able to go Trap Stun and then drop Zenmayo and just blast away 2 cards on your opponent's back row is incredibly good. And also it's set cards, it's not set monsters or set spell and traps. So you can get rid of set anything on the field, which is really, really good. So I'm hoping people realize that Zenmayo actually is kind of a phenomenal card and get around to playing him. On the other side of the toolbox, we have Evilswarms. You've got the Evilswarm equivalent of Pollux, Evilswarm Caster. He's the one who lets you do all your summoning. And, I mean, you've obviously got the notable Evilswarm of Kirkion, who's the Evilswarm version of Sombre. The other Evilswarm that I thought would be of value to talk about is Thunderbird. Thunderbird is actually really, really good right now because it is kind of hard for someone to go through their turn anymore and not kick off Thunderbird's effect. So Thunderbird leaves the field, comes back at 19.5, and when you have this card on the field, Vanity's Emptiness and Thunderbird combined is really, really good. Because being able to come back at 19.5 all the time, like, you're not going to be able, like, the only person who's going to be able to normal summon a 19.5 is Evilswarms, actually. That's the only deck that's going to be able to normal summon a 19.5. And I mean, granted, you've got, Mermails who will pop stuff, and, like, but honestly, Evilswarms don't care too much about Mermails. That's just kind of how it is. But Evilswarms, obviously, you've got your big player, Ophion, who is an insta-win against too many matchups right now. Evilswarms honestly have a phenomenal matchup against dragons now, because dragons have been slowed down to the point where, like, the only reason that Evilswarms couldn't contest against dragons early last format is because of the babies, and now since there's no babies, Ophion, Ophion set, I don't think you understand just, how crippling this combo is. Ophion, Safe Zone, Emptiness. Good game, you tried. It's just like how it, because the reason why I say Mermails actually kind of have a bad time against Evilswarms is because if Evilswarms go first, and they can go Ophion and Safe Zone. Ophion Safe Zone means that you can't even attempt to special summon Teus, Megalo, Lead, anything like that. You can use Title, sure. If you opened the Pike and opened Heavy Infantry, congrats, more power to you. I'll flip Safe Zone on the target, but it's a really significantly stronger matchup than I thought. But Evilswarms also have access to Bahamut, who steals your opponent's monsters, Nightmare, who is Book of Moon on legs, Key Beetle, who's Key Beetle Safe Zone, Key Beetle Emptiness. You tried. Yeah, I mean, but basically both these decks, aside they're more, I guess, archetype significant access, both of them are just really good toolboxing decks, incredibly good toolboxing decks for just making generic rank 4s. You've got Cowboy, you've got Abyss Dweller, you got Maestro, you got Black Ship, you got Papilloperative. Why would you complain about a deck that can consistently drop that kind of control? I don't know. The advantage that both of these decks have is that while they're back row heavy, their monsters function like back row, which is really good. And so I can't really complain about that. And personally, like, when it comes down to it, I've been at a toss-up between Evilswarms, Constellar, and Blackwings for this format, at least right now, because the control is nuts. It's just stupid. Like, it's too good. So, I mean, you can completely disagree with me here. You can agree with me here. You know, whatever. It's your opinion. I'm just telling you the fact of the matter here. Like, Pleiades is a freaking good card. Omega is a freaking good card. Ophion's freaking good. Like, against the matchups that you have right now, these decks are really strong. And they side so well. They side so well. So consider these decks. You know, they're both ridiculously budget. Aside Karikion and Sombre, these decks are ridiculously budget. Go for it. They're good. They're solid. But that said, learn the plays, please, or you're going to hurt my feelings when you make bad plays. But really, like, end rant, I suppose. Rate, comment, subscribe, make fun of me. I don't care. Have a good evening.